Cardiovascular system. In that, we have yesterday studied about the systole, diastole, and sinoatrial node. Today we are going to discuss about the heart sounds. Heart sounds. How does the heart produces the sounds? And what are the valves or the structures involved in the production of heart sound? We can see one by one. The first heart tone or S1. The S1 or the first heart tone is caused by the closure of atrioventricular valves produced by atrioventricular valves. Mitral and tricuspid. Means the closure of or the production caused by the closing of atrioventricular valves on the mitral and tricuspid valves at the beginning of the ventricular contraction or systole. At the beginning of ventricular contraction or systole, and that's how we can see the production of heart first tone S1 love. First heart tone S1 is love, and when pressure in the ventricles lies above the pressure in the atria, these valves close to prevent regulation of blood from the ventricles into the atria. The second heart tone, S2 we can say, is caused by closure of aortic valve and pulmonary valve at the end of ventricular systole. At the end of ventricular systole. Ventricular systole, which means the relaxation of, not the relaxation, it is the contraction of two simultaneous ventricles at the same time are said to be known as ventricular systole. And this ventricular systole produces the sound dub, and the ventricular contraction and the aortic, ventricular, atrioventricular valves, and the mitral valves, and the tricuspid valves closure causes the production of the first heart sound or the S1 love. As valves of the pulmonary valve end of the ventricle systole, as the left ventricle empties, its pressure falls below the pressure in the aorta. The aortic valve closes. Similarly, as the pressure in the aorta, right ventricle falls below the pressure in the pulmonary artery. The pulmonary valve closes during the inspiration, means during the intake of during the inspiration, means during the inhalation of oxygen, negative intrathoracic pressure causes intrathoracic pressure causes increased blood return into the right side of the heart. The increased blood volume in the right ventricle, the increased blood volume in the right ventricle causes the pulmonary valve to stay open longer during ventricular systole. Means this causes an increased delay in the P2 component of S2. During expiration, the positive intrathoracic pressure causes the decreased blood return to the right side of the heart. The reduced volume in the right ventricle allows the pulmonary valve to close earlier at the end of the ventricle systole, causing P2 to occur earlier and closer to E2. It is physiological to hear the splitting of the second heart tone by the younger people and during inspiration. During expiration, normally the interval between the two components shortens and the tone becomes merged. And tone becomes merged, and you can hear as louder. One plus two n plus square. Okay. 1 plus 2 into 1 plus 1. Third way comes 2 into 1, 2 plus 1, 3. 1 plus 3 plus 1. Okay. This is about the sound of the heart, or how the heart sounds, and how we can hear the beating of heart at the same time. And the next is heart chambers. And the next is heart chambers. The heart has four chambers, two atrium and two ventricles. The atrium are the smaller with thin walls, while the ventricles are larger and much stronger. The heart has four chambers with two atrium which are two atrium which are smaller with thin walls and two ventricle which are larger and much stronger. There are two atria on either side of heart. First, the heart has the four chambers, two atria and two ventricles. Two atria which are smaller in size and with smaller with thin valves are not much stronger, and the two ventricles are present and which are larger in size and much more stronger than the atrium, and there are two atria on the either side of the heart, or one on the left side and one on the right side. And on the right side of that atrium, which holds the blood that needs oxygen, on the right, which holds the blood that needs oxygen, and on the left side holds the blood which has been oxygenated and is ready to send to the body, and on the left side or on the left atrium holds the oxygenated blood and which is ready to send to the body. Ready to send to the body. The right atrium receives the deoxygenated from the supravena cava. The right atrium receives deoxygenated blood from superior vena cava from head to forelimb and upper part of chest. And interior vena cava from lower part of the trunk and limbs. Chest and limbs. Chest. It's not the lower part of the chest, it is lower part of the trunk or below the stomach. The left atrium receives oxygenated blood from the left and right pulmonary veins. The left atrium receives the oxygenated blood from the left and right pulmonary veins. Means this is about the particular atrium. Means the heart, which is having the 4 chambers and it has consisting of 2 atriums which are smaller in size and which have the thinner walls or valves, and it consists of 2 ventricles which are larger in size and much stronger in functioning, and there are 2 atria on the either side of the heart. One is on the right side and the one is on the left side. On the right side of the atrium or the right atrium, which is going to hold the blood that need to get oxygen, and on the left side of the atria, which holds the oxygenated blood which is going to ready to supply or which is going to send to the different parts of the body, and The right atrium, which receives the deoxygenated blood, or which receives the deoxygenated blood from the superior vena cava. Superior vena cava, which involves from the head to the forelimbs and upper parts of the chest, and from inferior vena cava. Inferior vena cava, which involves from the lower part of the trunk and hind limbs, and the left atrium, which receives the oxygenated blood from the left and the right pulmonary veins. From the left and the right pulmonary veins. And the next, ventricles. Ventricles. The ventricle is a heart chamber which collects blood from an atrium and pumps it out of the heart. It is a chamber which collects the blood from an atrium and pumps it out of the heart. Pumps it out of the heart. There are two ventricles. In right ventricle pumps blood into the pulmonary circulation for the lungs, and the left ventricle pumps blood into the systemic circulation for the rest of the body. means the right ventricle pumps the blood into pulmonary circulation or lungs and the left ventricle pumps blood into the systemic circulation for the rest of the body. For the rest of the body. And ventricles have thicker walls than the atria and thus can create a higher pressure. Ventricles have thicker means larger valves and thus can create higher blood pressure. Comparing the left and the right ventricle, the left ventricle has thicker walls because it needs to pump blood to the whole body. Both ventricles left have thicker walls. Because to pump blood to whole body. This leads to the common misconception that the heart lies on the side of the body. Leads to the common misconception that heart lies on the left side of the body. Means this is about the ventricles. The ventricles. Ventricle it is a chamber which collects the blood from the atrium and pumps it out of the body or out of the heart to all parts of the body. Its function is to pump the blood out of the heart. And the right, there are, as I said, there are two ventricles. One is on the left side and another one is on the right side, and the right side ventricle pumps the blood into the pulmonary circulation for lungs, and the left ventricle which pumps the blood into the systemic circulation for the rest of the body. And the ventricles have the thicker walls and thus can create higher blood pressure. Means the ventricles have the thicker walls and they can create the higher blood pressure. And comparing the both ventricles, the left have thicker valves and because to pump the blood to whole body, and this leads to the common misconception or commonly all have been studied or all have been misleading or misconceptionally understood that the heart which is lies on the right side or on the left side of the body. In the next, you can see the septum and the valves and subvalvular apparatus, complication with heart, the circulation of blood through and we can see the ultrastructure of heart as you all already studied in the lower classes and in the previous classes, that how the heart appears. The heart, it is in the size of a fist size, and which has two atria and the two ventricles. One atria lies on the right side and one atria lies on the left side, and the one ventricle lies on the left side and one ventricle lies on the right side, and which is slightly tilted towards the right or towards the left, which has the number of valves and chambers to get pump the deoxygenated blood and converted it as oxygenated and supplied to all parts of the body. And some of the parts we can see as the aorta, which has 3 valves, and the pulmonary trunk and the left atrium, pulmonary veins, left ventricle and the right ventricle, inferior vena cava and right atrium, superior vena cava. These are the some of the parts of heart and the control of heartbeat. The heart controls two cardiac pacemakers that spontaneously cause the heart to beat. Means the heart which contains the two cardiac pacemakers. What is the pacemaker? As we have studied in the previous class, sinoatrial node is the pacemaker which produces the heartbeat, and in controlling this heart it has two cardiac pacemakers that spontaneously cause the heart to beat. These can be controlled by the atomic nervous system and circulating adrenaline. If the cardiac muscle just contracted and relaxed randomly at a natural rhythm, the cycle would become disordered and the heart would become unable to carry on its function of being a pump. Sometimes, when the heart undergoes great damage to one part of the cardiac muscle or the person incurs an electric shock, the cardiac cycle can become uncoordinated and chaotic. Some parts of the heart will contract while others will relax, so that instead of contracting and relaxation as a whole, the heart will flutter abnormally. This is called fibrillation and can be fatal if not treated within 1 minute. Means sudden contraction of all muscles or the all valves or the sudden relaxation of all valves can create the heart attack, or the uncoordination of the cardiac cycle, or one contraction and the one relaxation are goes on simultaneously. One will operate one time and one will operate second time. So by the functioning of two simultaneous processes, the heart can be act abnormally, and this abnormal reaction of heart we can say as fibrillation, and with which has not been treated within 1 minute, it can be get severe case. Cardiac muscle contraction. After an action potential excites the plasma membrane of the cardiac muscle cell, the contraction is due to increase to the cytoplasmic concentration of calcium ions. Similar to skeletal muscle, the release of calcium ions, Ca plus calcium ions, from the sarcoplasmic reticulum binds to troponin, which allows actin to bind with myosin. The difference between skeletal muscle and cardiac muscle is that when the potential, when the actin action potential when the action potential opens voltage gated calcium ions, the increase of systolic calcium causes calcium ions to bind to receptors on calcium ions. So these receptors cause the opening or more calcium ions channel in the SR membrane. Calcium ions then rush out of SR and to bind troponin and allows myosin and actin to bind together, which causes contraction. This sequence is called this sequence is called calcium induced calcium release. Induced calcium release. Calcium induced and the calcium release. Contraction ends when the level of systolic calcium returns to normal resting level. Means contraction ends when level of cytosolic calcium returns to normal resting level. Means this is about the cardiac muscle contraction. Means the contraction of the cardiac muscles. And this is about the heart beat and heart sound and the chambers of heart and heart attack.